Hello, my fellow chatterers and book worshippers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious or you're lost. I'm Chatty, and welcome to my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, where I am going to be chatting away madly about some books that I'm considering taking on my next Books on Tour video. So last time I did one where I went for a spa weekend away with my girls, which are my secondary school friends, lifelong friends, and I got them each to choose a book for me. Then I did a tea and taste on the train and chose which book I was going to be reading and then did a review of it. This time I want to open the doors open to you guys to choose which book out of a selection of 8 I should take on my Books on Tour to Munich. So it is the summer holidays now. This is the first day of the summer holidays. My children are not at school. My husband, who's a teacher, has finished work. I will still be working for a few more days, but then I'm taking holiday too, and we are lucky enough to be going to go and see some friends and stay with some friends in Munich, and I want to take some books with me where I will do a few little sort of like reading updates, so sort of like a very segmented vlog, because I can't edit, I can't squidge it all together, so I'll just do lots of little short videos of reading a bit here, telling you how I'm getting on with these books, and then I'll do like a full review of the book at the end. And I'm probably going to do 2 actually. So what we're going to do now, it's a one shot, no editing. Let's drink this tea. Cheers everyone. And then I will show you the books that I am considering, and then you guys can tell me which ones you think I should take, and the ones that get the most votes I will then take with me. So I've done it in sort of like 4 sections. So I've got 2 middle grades, 2 contemporaries, 2 adult fantasies, and 2 sci-fi. So let's start. So the first book is Root Magic by Eden Royce. Now this is a story of Jez and Jay, who are twins. It's 1963. I can't remember where they live. Is it somewhere in America? South Carolina, and they have just lost one of their relatives. There's like an investigation going on. They're dealing with police harassment. They're dealing with new kids in school, and then I think it's their uncle, says that he is going to teach them root work, which I believe is sort of like the ancient family magic. I heard Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin absolutely raving about this book. I mean, look at this gorgeous cover. It is so beautiful. It is very, very enticing. He also did an interview with Eden Royce as well, who seems like one of the most lovely authors. And I am so excited and keen to read this book. I had a really difficult job of trying to get hold of it. I wanted a hardback because I love a hardback, and I just feel I'm going to really love this book. It's got this beautiful like mint green underneath, and yeah, and then we've got the Root Magic on the spine with some little sparkly stars. So yeah, I wanted hardback, and also I try and source my books from, if I can, independent bookshops. I'm sort of in a weird kneeling position because I couldn't be bothered to go and get my stool, which is downstairs. I just wanted to film, so I'm getting a little bit of cramp in my foot. So sorry if I fidget, but I don't want to stop. Brain, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so I try and get my books from like independent bookshops if possible. If not, I search on World of Books because it's like secondhand books. And then I kind of go down the more mainstream routes. Routes. I can't remember what I did. There were a couple of places I thought I could get this, and they no longer had it. It wasn't available. It's not available in like physical form in any of the bookshops in the UK, and I really don't know why. And it bothers me, and I was going to speak to them, and I ended up totally forgetting that I was ever going to do that, but I intend to. Anyway, point is, I found it really hard to get hold of this book, and I can't remember how I did eventually. I don't know if it was World of Books or if it was Amazon that I eventually got this, or if it was Book Depository. But I got it, and I'm so delighted to have it in my possession. So yes, Root Magic by Eden Royce is the first option. I'm just going to put that up there. Yes, you can. It's still in shot. That is good. Right, the other middle grade book. It's a return. It's a return. This was on my potential for these spa books. It's Ship of Shadows by Maria Kuznia. And this book I have now read the first chapter, and I was very excited about it. It sounds amazing. Let's bring it closer so you can appreciate the beautiful cover. And it really does sound, I was really interested and excited. But I think for the spa weekend I kind of just wanted a slightly different more feel. I went for more of the contemporary book, but it was a really good first chapter and I'm very keen to pick it up and keep reading it. I've been quite in the mood for sort of like more piratey adventure books recently, so this would really fit the bill. I really like Maria Kuznia's writing. The main character seems really cool. This book, because I go into my books knowing as little as possible, can I give you a little bit more information about it? Yeah, so Alicia really wants to go on a ship. She wants to sail. That's kind of like her dream, but quite a few of the people in her village, in the port harbour, mock her for that. But then there's a ship that comes in and it is all crewed by women, and I think she stows away on it and goes and has an adventure. So I think that sounds really cool. And look at this, we have a peep through. Look at that, it's beautiful. So yes, this is a second middle grade option. So those are two middle grade options that you can consider. Okay, we're moving on to the two contemporary options now. So the first one I have is The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abi DeRay, and I have heard nothing but the highest praise for this book. This book, everyone raves about how fantastic it was, how inspiring, how it made them feel, how they love the protagonist. And so this book is about Aduni, who will not keep quiet. She raises her voice, she shouts up for her rights for an education, for all the girls that have gone before her and who will come after her. And that is all I know, and that is all I want to know. My friend Sula recommended this one. She said it was brilliant. I've heard Jessie from Jessie May raving about this book, so I'm really keen to read it. It is on my seasonal shelf now. It's on my lazy summer afternoon. I have a seasonal shelf where I kind of have books that I want to kind of keep in my line and really want to try and read and get through. And this is on there, so I really hope that I can pick it up at some point, if not in this, later on. But this is another one to consider. Whoop, are you going to stay there? Please stay. Okay, let's hope we don't have... No, it's going. Right, I need you to cooperate. How about you lean? Can you lean? There we go. There we go. It's up. So the second contemporary option is Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. I did say this was by Abi DeRay. If I didn't, it's by Abi DeRay. Anyway, Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. This is a contemporary book following the main character Queenie through, I think, kind of life's ups and downs. I think it's a bit of a slice of life book. I think it probably deals with themes around sort of racism and feminism. It's supposed to be really, really funny and sort of quite dark humour. But I think essentially it's about knowing, regardless of what anyone else thinks, you are enough. You are worth it. You are worth being loved, being respected, being seen as successful, despite whatever anyone else thinks of you. I think is the basis of this. Again, feel free to laugh at me if I am just talking total twaddle, because as I've said, I don't like to know a lot about the books. I like to be surprised. I like to kind of go in and just experience everything and just be totally surprised by what I'm reading. So I try and have little expectations, but I like to go on recommendations and themes and general feel of the book. But actually this is another one that my friend Sula the Giraffe recommended, and I've heard lots of other people. Can't think of any booktubers off the top of my head, but I know that this has been a very beloved book as well. And yes, it did have it was shortlisted for the Women's Prize Fiction. So there you go. Queenie is the second contemporary choice. So there we go. That is the contemporary and the middle grade options. We're now going to go into the adult options. And I'm just going to wiggle around again because this cramp is being a bit weird. Okay, I think I should have sorted it now. Right. So the first option for the adult fantasy now is another returning one, and that is The Conductors by Nicole Glover. And again, this is one where I did read the first chapter as well, and I also thought it was amazing. I really loved that first chapter. I was very intrigued, but I think I just wasn't feeling fantasy on that train journey. I think I'd read a lot of fantasy. I was feeling a bit burnt out by fantasy and went for the contemporary. But I have been thinking about that first chapter. I've been thinking about this book, and I would love to be able to get into it again. So the tagline on the back here is, "She helped slaves find their freedom, but they're not free yet." So at the beginning of this book, there's a wanted poster for our two main characters in here, Hetty and Benji. So you kind of get their escape story through the eyes of the slave owners on their wanted posters, and then you meet Hetty and Benji in the first chapter as they are freeing some more people. And I think, is it P. Djeli Clark? Yeah, P. Djeli Clark has tagged this as it's an underground railroad with magic, and I really enjoyed the Underground Railroad. I love P. Djeli Clark, so if he is recommending this, I'm wanting to read it. So I'm also excited by this one. The Conductors by Nicole Glover is the first adult magical fantasy. Yep, you can still see it there. There we go. Also, again, I love the cover. I love the teal. I love the shadows. Beautiful. Second option for the adult fantasy is more of a well-known one, which is The Magicians by Lev Grossman. This is a book that I've borrowed from my friend Dave, and I've had it for about over a year, I think. I still haven't picked it up, so this would be a good way of encouraging me to pick it up and read it. I think I'm slightly anxious. This could have been a good one actually for my intimidating reads. Oh well, never mind, because it seems quite dark. So I'm intrigued, and I wanted to borrow it because I think it's like Wizard University or something like that. But it seems quite dark, and I'm not sure how likeable the characters are, so I'm a little bit apprehensive about it. But I do want to read it. I do want to read it, and I really should give it back to Dave. So this is number 2 for the adult fantasy. I think we might have to move the little wagon money box here. Oh no, book casualty. Sorry, magicians. Right, you need to stand, hold your place, stand tall. Well done. Okay, on to sci-fi now. So the first one is a well-known Becky Chambers, the first book in the Wayfinders series. Do correct me if I'm incorrect. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet. I've not read Becky Chambers. I really want to read Becky Chambers. I know you don't read these for plot, you read these for the characters and the kind of like found family misfit people on here. I'm a character-driven reader. I do like a plot, but I'm also very much here for characters. So I really hope Becky Chambers is going to be for me. I'm really keen to give this series a go and kind of read more sci-fi in general. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one. Again, pins and needles, got to move. Okay, and so the final book, the second sci-fi contender, is The Prey of Gods by Nicky Drayden. This is a book that I'd heard nothing about at all. But the booktuber Sophia from Sophia's Thoughts has a Etsy shop called Punful Books, where she does things like book recommendations and sells like bookish things. And one of the things she does is a blind date with a book, where she has beautifully wrapped up in brown paper with string several different books, and then she's written like just a little kind of like buzzwords to do with the book. So if you're looking for a book that's about da da da, it will say that on the front. And I really wish that I'd kept the paper so I could have told you what it was. But I thought this sounds really fun. I really want to try it. And I like Sophia, so I really wanted to see what things she'd got on there. I think one of the buzzwords on here was that it was LGBTQ rep, that it was a sci-fi, and that it was not well known. So I think that could have been the little blurb for it. Anyway, I chose that one. She sent it to me along with some with like a soap and like a tea. So it was a really exciting package to get. And then I opened it and I was like, oh, this looks really cool. So I've never heard of this, and I'm going to read you the blurb. In South Africa, the future looks promising. Personal robots are making life easier for the working class. The government is harnessing renewable energy to provide infrastructure for the poor. And in the bustling coastal town of Port Elizabeth, the economy is booming, thanks to the genetic engineering industry, which has found a welcome home there. Yes, the days to come are looking very good for South Africans. That is, if they can survive the present challenges. A new hallucinogenic drug sweeping the country, an emerging AI uprising, and an ancient demigoddess hell-bent on regaining her former status by preying on the blood and sweat, but mostly blood, of every human she encounters. It's up to a young Zulu girl, powerful enough to destroy her entire township, a queer teen plagued with the ability to control minds, a pop diva with some serious daddy issues, and a politician with even more serious mummy issues, to band together to ensure that there's a future left to worry about. I don't know about you, but that sounds amazing. I think that could have been another buzzword, that it had an AI. And I've watched a lot of AI television, but I haven't read a lot about AI, and I'm really keen to. So this is the final option. Here they are. Here are the books that I could take to Munich. So please do get busy in the comments. Let me know if you've read any of these. And most importantly, tell me your vote. What is your vote? You can do vote number 1, vote number 2 if you want. And I could do a little point system, like 2 points for number 1, 1 point for number 2, and see which one comes out on top. Whatever you fancy. So let's recap. 2 middle grade options: Root Magic by Eden Royce, The Ship of Shadows by Maria Kuznia. 2 contemporary options: The Girl with the Louding Voice by Abby DeRay and Queenie by Candice Carty-Williams. Adult fantasy: The Conductors by Nicole Glover and The Magicians by Lev Grossman. And 2 sci-fi: The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers and The Prey of the Gods by Nikki Drayden. There you go. I'm really excited to hear from you guys and see which of the 2 books I'm going to be packing into my case and taking to Munich. And hopefully I will be able to update you whilst I tuck into many a pretzel. Yeah, I'm really excited about this. So yes, I'm really excited for my second books on tour and to see which book wins, because I would love to read all of these. And I also have many other books. I'm going to be doing my August TBR soon. These won't be in it, so these are going to be on top of that, but I'm hoping as it's holidays I will have more reading time, but we will see. So yes, vote for your faves and let me know, and I will announce the results in a few days from releasing this video. I'm not sure how many, because I don't know when I'm releasing it. We will see. Anyway, happy reading everyone, and I will see you soon.